Well, hi. Hello, hello, my fellow sensitive people. Fillerin's here. I haven't seen her in a while. Hi, Foggy. Good to see you. Hi, Pier Walker. All the cool people are here. Bugs Bunny's in the house. Woohoo! Tootsie Bitter. Hello. Well, happy Sunday to you. Happy Sunday to you and you and you, and of course to my sidekick. She is doing what she does best, the great Mila. Her full name is Michaela Antoinette Claudette. And she sleeps about 17 hours a day. And as you can see, she's doing it beautifully. All right. So we are here, 144 strong and growing. Hello, Martha Spillman. Oh, Click has a lipstick called Whimsy. Lovely. Paula Ann. Hi, good to see you, Paula. Hi, Angela Messina. Wonderful to see you as well. So, to give a heads up to everyone, we are raising money today. We are raising money for Planned Parenthood. This is a fundraiser for Planned Parenthood. People couldn't figure out why I was dedicating things to the governor of Texas. They were like, "What? Did Whimsy lose her mind?" Well, here's the thing. It used to be when we donated to Planned Parenthood, all that money would go in honor of Mike Pence. And then Mike Pence would, of course, receive a letter saying, guess what? Whimsy raised $2,500 for Planned Parenthood in your honor. So now Greg Abbott gets to be rewarded by being a part of our Planned Parenthood fundraiser. Isn't that lovely? Pandora Papers. I don't know what the Pandora Papers are, but hey, whatever, I'm game. I'm good. You know, whatever you guys want to do is working for me. Oh, nice. I'm glad you guys liked that. I think we've raised something so far like $150 for Planned Parenthood, and we're going to keep it up for the rest of the month. I think our goal is $2,500 for Planned Parenthood. And I was working on that song, and I thought it was kind of funny, excuse me, that the march was on Saturday, and the song I was working on was kind of nice. So anyway, thank you everyone who's donating to Planned Parenthood today. Okay, so first things first, if you haven't had a chance to do so yet, it would be awesome if you could share, like, and subscribe the channel. It does a lot to increase and help, promote the channel. So I appreciate that. So first things first, one of the great things about hosting a channel like this. Oh, thank you, Adventurous Spirit. Thank you very much. I don't see the fundraiser though. Did you guys see I'll go fix it. Thank you, Adventurous Spirit. That's so kind of you. So first things first, the nicest part of my job is that I get to get presents from people. Oh, another healer and an empath. Christy Price is in the house. Congratulations. All right. So something is in this box. And it's given to me by, I believe her name is Catherine Connell. So we're going to be opening boxes a little bit today. Thank you, everybody who sends me gifts. I'm very humbled, actually. The truth be told, it really means a lot to me. And I just thank you, really. It's wonderful to receive gifts. All right, let's see what we've got here. I don't want to read out loud everything she wrote. Oh, Kitty. Thank you, Kitty. I will read your letter privately, so I don't, in case it's private stuff, and I will write you back, Kitty. Thank you. Whoa. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Did you make this, Kitty? Whoa. This is the kind of stuff I love. I love ritual objects. I love fetish objects. Stone. Look at this. Oh my God, Kitty. Look at this. Oh my God. This is incredible. Did she make this? Hold on. I'm sorry. I got to check to see. Kitty. It's a pale silver clad rose quartz pyramid. The rose quartz is to symbolize the unconditional love. A band of stainless steel beads is more than a design element. The beads act as a little spheres of spiritual armor. Despite their size, they repel psychic attacks, extreme negativity, and anything that sucks at your life force or peace of mind. Yeah, but where can people buy it, Kitty? That's the question. Because I actually would have purchased this even if she hadn't given it to me, because this is the kind of, she's an elder and an empath. Oh, kittyroxana.com if you guys want to get one. It's so weird. I was looking for ritual objects for protection because I do absorb a lot of stuff comes in. So this is something that I really could have used, and I'm so grateful. Kitty, thank you. It included a little something for Mila as well. Okay, so now we've got something for Mila. All right, let me go ahead and promote this in case anybody would like to, because this is really amazing. This is Kitty Roxana. I love promoting artists that do spiritual work. I just think it's absolutely wonderful. Okay, so kittyroxana.com if you'd like to purchase your own pyramid. Oh my God, can you believe this? Can you believe this? Oh, look, there's a world tarot card in it so that energetically you can draw the world. And look at this, the moon, which is the symbol, it's a symbol in Islam, but it's also a symbol of lunar energy or the lunar calendar, the female divine. I'm going to keep this on my table. Again, I can't say enough how grateful I am for that. Thank you so much, Kitty Roxana. And then Kitty Roxana has one for Mila. Oh my goodness. It's a little kitty toy to repel negative energy from maybe other kitties that she fights with, like Tommy, who used to eat her food. Remember the homeless cat Tommy she used to fight with? She's got a little protection bone she can wear now to protect her from the kitty she doesn't like. Again, thank you so much, Roxana. I will write you a thank you note. Very, very sweet of you. Absolutely love, love, love it. Okay, so wasn't that wonderful? Aren't people the best? This is why I got to get off this thing of, oh, I hate the world, I hate people. You know what? 9 times out of 10, what people do for people is wonderful. So we need to get off the negativity. Human beings invent wonderful things for other human, just because they want other human beings to have better lives. I want us all to think about that. The wonderful sugar-free Kool-Aid, Crystal Light that Whimsy loves. You know how much I love Kool-Aid and I couldn't get it in other countries? And then when they invented a sugar-free version, I could go back to just enjoying what I enjoyed as a kid, my Kool-Aid, sugar-free. Crystal Light, Kool-Aid, sugar-free. All right, so this next one comes from someone whose name is invisible. This next gift, oh, it's hidden. It's hidden under this thing. Oh dear, I can't see your name. Well, let's open this up. I think I know what this is. Ah, aha. Okay, we got to get the name first, right? There's a card here. Loved it. Grace Link. Thank you so much, Grace. I will definitely write you back and thank you. So this gift comes from Grace. Oh, she says she thinks she might have been a witch in a previous lifetime. This is the Day of the Dead. Look at this. And when we think about African deities, which African deity is associated with skulls and the dead from the Yoruba culture? Anybody know? I love stevia. I love xylitol more, though. I like to sweeten it with xylitol. Okay, it's Oya. Oya was the medicine woman. She goes to battle with Chango in the Yoruba tradition. Enjoy for Whimsy. Look at that. Oh, I love this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. And it's so true. Not every witch lives in Salem. My sister lives in Salem. I live in Portland, Salem, Oregon. Yes, not every witch lives in Salem. Love it. Absolutely love it. Thank you so much, Grace. I am a witch, and my mother was a witch. Thank you so much. I love it. Witches are good. Oh, thank you, Christy. You're so sweet. Thank you for that donation. Okay, and then we've got some promotional stuff here. Sandra Rogers Ansley, thank you so much. A little bit of a promo thing going on here. People know I like to promote the artists in our community. Let's see what she's got for us. It's also a great way to get free presents. It's also a great way to have people sponsor the channel that are not rich and can pay millions of dollars. Just, to have regular people, writers, etc., that sponsor the channel just, through their gifts, through their art. Okay. Oh, wow. Inviting the Queen. This is actually a book that I did want to promote. I can't believe people are giving me stuff that I actually need. All right. Thank you so much, Sandra. This is something that I wanted to talk about, actually. This was written by Sandra Rogers. Thank you, Sandra, for sending me a copy of this. This is something that I've gotten into. Sandra Rogers is the name of the author, and the book is called Inviting the Queen. And it did receive the Nautilus Book Award. So this is something that I've been thinking about a lot. You know how we talk about Mother Maiden Crone, and that the crone is seen as a repulsive image, and it's degrading and abusive of seniors, particularly senior women. And so historically, senior women were often abused, tortured, murdered. They lived in extreme poverty after their husbands would die, and then they would be perceived of as witches, the wise women in the village. So, as a result, it often leads to violence, and also violence against seniors, particularly senior women. They're vulnerable because of this stereotype that when we become older, we become evil or dark or crones. It's not something that's celebrated. It's something that's feared and is seen as repulsive, something that you are repelled from. So consequently, women are terrified of growing old because we don't want to fall into the category of the crone and be something that is repulsive or ugly or repellent to others. But the truth is, we're entering not into the time of the crone, we're entering into the time of the queen. That's really more accurate historically too, because if you look at Ishtar and some of the goddesses that were traditionally worshipped, they weren't seen as ugly hags, but as women became older, they became more beautiful, more powerful, and they began to express this divinity, the divinity through this expression of the archetype of the queen, right? So it's just changing the archetype of the empowered female, the wise female, right? The high priestess. She's not a crone. She's not hideous. She's beautiful and empowered, and she gives grace to the world. And so I just want to thank and give gratitude to Sandra Rogers, because it was a book that needed to be written. And even before I read it, I got the concept, and I talked about it on this channel. So thank you so much, Sandra. And I know that everyone here is going to want to check it out. So that is Inviting the Queen. And this much closer resembles also the Jewish view. And again, you know, if you're looking at historically Judaism and the Hebrew goddess, which existed prior to the Babylonian exile, it was more like the high priestess, the queen. It was more, you know, the Shekinah, the feminine divine, right? Seeing female power as something that's very sacred and holy and positive rather than negative. All right, let's move on from that. How's everybody feeling? Wasn't that fun? It's always fun to get presents, particularly presents like that. Yeah, nice. All right, is everybody ready for the remote views? Yeah. Okay, so remote views. People had said to me when it starts out, well, let's talk about what's in the news right now. Okay, there's a lot, excuse me, there's a lot of things in the news right now, and we're going to be doing blitzes on them. But the first thing that I wanted to say is that people had asked me if I could look at Gabby Petito, and I had said no. I didn't want to look at Gabby Petito. I didn't want to see if she was alive or not, because a parent's child was missing, and I just think that it's just not an area that I want to take the channel. However, I do feel comfortable doing profiles because I'm trained as an empath to do a profile. So I did do a profile on Brian Laundrie. Is that his name? Brian Laundrie? See my notes, if I can find my notes here. Okay, so when I went into the energy of Brian Laundrie, this remote was done last week. I put myself in his shoes. Thank you, Dream Girl. Thank you. Oh, that's my friend Renee. When I put myself in his shoes, here is what I heard. Okay, because I just want to get into his head. When I got into his head, I was in denial that my girlfriend was dead. I didn't believe she was dead. I told my family we had had a fight. She took off, and I was headed to the Southwest. I had to get to the Southwest. And as I followed my energy to the Southwest, I found myself in an area that looks like Texas, quite frankly. There was an abandoned white building to my right, and to my left were some train tracks, possibly abandoned train tracks. So I thought, okay, maybe he's hopping trains. Now, there was somebody who claims he saw him in North Carolina. He was driving the back roads, and I believe he had a white pickup. So this is getting interesting to me, because we do have certain people that watch this channel. So we've got side roads, a pickup, North Carolina. The side roads in North Carolina and the Appalachian Mountains go alongside the train routes. They go alongside the train routes, and they're abandoned trade routes because this is old mining country, right? So the trains go to take the coal. And then you have shacks or buildings, a white building, it's cement next to the train tracks. That's where he was. Now, whether it's an abandoned area from a former train track that used to go into the mountains to take out coal, I don't know, but that's where he is. So he's headed to the southwest. And the person he spoke to, he said, my girlfriend and I had a fight, right? She took off, but we're going to meet in California. So I got to get to the southwest, right? I got to get on the highway to get southwest because that's where she is. The witness said he seemed deranged, like he was out of it. He was mentally out of it. And he said, I got to take the back roads. So we have him, back roads, North Carolina, by the train tracks, following the side roads along the train lines, right? And then camping out in these abandoned areas by the former train tracks. And again, we have the location, the southwest. If we follow the train tracks, for those certain people that do watch this channel, if you're following the train tracks headed to the southwest along the back roads, and you're starting in North Carolina, you're going to pass through Texas. That's the area I would focus on if I was with the FBI, based on what I saw and what I heard. So I hope that helps. I didn't see myself going into the water. I didn't see a kayak or anything like that. So I think Dog is headed in the wrong direction. No offense. And my first thought was, no, she had a fight. She took. I got to get to the southwest. I will do anything I can to get to the southwest. So the one witness that saw him said he was headed to California. Back roads, railroad yards, headed south. That's what I have. I hope I helped. That anybody else have anything they want to share? Any other empaths or people doing HCRV? If they picked up anything else they want to share, you can go ahead and do that. All right. We try to help, it's not a perfect science, but if we can help put a couple of pieces together, then we'll try, right? Okay, so the next remote view we're talking about, there's a couple things going on that people want to talk about. This is, are we good? Can we move on? North Carolina mountains, yeah, old used trains. That's exactly where I see them. It's by the train tracks, and it's a cement building. It's white. And it looks like there was some work being. It's not a home that people lived in. It's some area that workers used. That's a white building that's abandoned by some train tracks. That's what specific. And the area, to me, when I saw the flat area, the train track, and the white, my first thought was the terrain looks like Texas. I have not, but there are FBI people that watch the channel. People that work for the FBI. So if they feel something I say has weight, they'll probably do say it, or they'll ignore it. I mean, but I just have to tell people exactly what I see. And then if they can use the information, I'm happy to do that. So the next conversation we're having that people are very worried about has to do with the workers in Europe that are warning of a possible global system collapse. Does anybody know about this? So the lorry drivers in Europe are having problems. COVID is becoming a problem. Getting into certain areas, you have to be COVID tested. Not everybody is vaccinated. Some of it has to do with Brexit, but a lot of it has to do also with just the problems of COVID. I think we're looking at a difficult 4 or 5 months here. And so I don't think people should freak out. I think preppers thinking all of humanity is going to collapse have kind of taken a little too far, quite frankly. We do have infrastructure. We do have charities. We have This is not a Martian landing. This is a, we're a society that has charities, anti-hunger program. I mean, so I think that a lot of preppers have just been watching too much Walking Dead episodes. I used to be hooked on The Walking Dead too, and it would freak you out. I gotta store up food. But I really think that's a little overly dramatic. What you can do though is that historically, when food supply chains do have disastrous or global collapse or something like this, believe it or not, these kinds of things happen, and they happen a lot during war. Excuse me, war, or if there's a global pandemic or anything like that. Absolutely, those things can have an effect on supply chains. We could freak out, oh, or we could just, okay, so there's going to be some delays in the food chain for the next 4 or 5 months. Right? Relax. Don't freak out. Get organized. Yeah, it's like, I'm not leaving the compound. Really? Is it necessary? I mean, my parents lived through the Depression. Nobody had a compound with stockpiles. They got organized. They kept a pantry. Lighten up. So I think that people should have a pantry because if you look at earthquake readiness, these things can happen. But like I said, my parents lived through the Dust Bowl. There were children during the Dust Bowl. And then they also had to live through the Depression. So people learned how to can. They learned how to do all of that stuff. So it's just something where you need to just lighten up. So I think that people should have a list of supplies that they can take in the event of an emergency. They should have food prepping for about 3-4 months and the ability to make your own food, even if it means growing greens like I do right in my own apartment. You can get one of these relatively inexpensive, and then I've got a light, and then I just grow whatever I like, my vegetables, my shiitake mushroom, whatever, and it just supplements, and it doesn't take a lot of space. So just the more independent you can be, the better. But hi, Lisa. We're glad you're finally here. Hi, Shivani. Oh, the Pandora Papers. I don't know anything about it, but it sounds really cool. Okay, so don't freak out, but yeah, something's probably going to happen with that. But everything gets, may you live in interesting times. You live in interesting times, right? Yeah, be thoughtful and good to one another. Okay, I had another question. Somebody said, could you, in the last video I did a while back, could I please clarify what I mean when I say that we're phasing out war? Because they thought that that was a big load of hoo-hoo. What happened to Boko Haram? What do they call it? Boko Haram? What happened to that army? Anybody know what happened to them? They quit. The leader died. What do you think that those fighters are going to do? You know what they did? They moved into the village where they were fighting and settled down and built houses, got married, and they're becoming part of the community. They're asking people to let them just stay, that they don't want to fight anymore. And so that's that. What happened to the American troops in Syria? Iraq. How about holding the line for the Kurds? What happened to American troops in Afghanistan? So something's going on, right? What's going on, and I think that Putin and the world leaders kind of have a point here, and this is one area where I kind of agree with him, And what he is saying and what Shay is saying is it's all about trade, and we shouldn't have our young men and women dying just because we want to get our trade out. So let's all agree to pay for the private armies. We'll all pitch in. The soldiers are there by choice. They know they're not there to save the world. They're just there to move cargo. And let's keep the cargo moving. So we have a new route opening up between China. New route is they've been investing in new roads, new Silk roads coming out from China to Afghanistan. And then, of course, Putin wants his armies. These are private armies. You pay people. They move cargo. And it's not about God being on your side. It's just about trade. So it's rather, well, it goes back to what Russell Brand was saying, the real reason we're in Afghanistan. We're protecting people's financial investments. Well, the fact that a lot of people said, exactly, you're protecting our financial investments, so let's just get out of there and hire a private army, and let's just let the companies pay for their own protection. Excuse me. Putin doesn't care about people's lives. What he cares about is trade. And a constant war that's killing people, mostly civilians, simply because we're competing on trade. Trump was he was doing a rally and he said, I can't believe that America chickened out and gave Putin that pipeline. I wouldn't have given him the pipeline. Yeah, you would have. Okay, let's do some blitzes. I'm just waiting for the call and we can go ahead and do some blitzes, whatever you like. Putin, I don't see Putin hiding in a bunker. I think he just, you heard what he said 3 years ago. Has anything changed? The sun should not set on the Russian Empire, right? That's what he says. Oh, I've got the call. Blitz, blitz, blitz away. Before we do that, we should do the community. I forgot to do the community reading. Would you guys like to do see, Kelly is keeping me honest. I have to do the empath's prayer first. Okay, 3250 is the empath's prayer. Let's do it. Community reading. I love the community reading. All right. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that are needed to empower this community on their journeys, to make the best decisions for themselves, their families, the planet, the people they love, but also to help those that they may have strife with. And together, collectively, as a community, we say, Amen. Amen. Okay, what is the message from Spirit? Excuse me. Everyone is so scared. We got to stop the fear. That's what I'm tired of being afraid of everything. Is anybody with me about this? Particularly as a female, you spend your whole entire life afraid. Oh my God, this could happen. Oh my God, that could happen. Did it happen? Well, no, but it could have happened. So we hold back too much, right? So that's the difference between, say, someone like Auntie Maine And someone like me, Auntie Mame, she live, she gives it all a shot. I'm like, oh, I might break a bone. Right. Maybe take some more risk in our lives. All right, where we are right now, the base of the matter, 4 of Swords. A lot of you were doing some deep meditation work. Good for you. And the Karma card, the Sun, is coming out. Good times ahead. So it's actually positive cards they're talking about. You're entering into the time of the Sun. Things are being opened up for you. Also, a lot of knowledge is coming to you right now, just about who you are, why things happened the way they did. Perhaps this is a time in your life when you're starting to look back at memories or thoughts about the past, but there's a new way of looking at them. This is a time when you're going to be very logical, very reasonable about what you need to do in order to take care of yourself. First house is the King of Swords. Put emotion aside. We know how emotional we can all be, right? But is it really necessary? I keep thinking of RBG. That's very unattractive when you act like that. It's we're all gonna die. And then I did a remote view on RBG, and I was like, I feel helpless. And RBG very calmly told me I was extremely unattractive when I acted like that. You expect nothing. That's RBG. Expect nothing. You got to do it yourself, honey. Stop waiting for somebody to save you. You're very unattractive when you act helpless. Seriously, Whimsy. It's very unattractive. So, remember that? It's not exactly what you want to hear from your mentor, right? Like somebody that you admire when you go into a remote. So King of Swords he's a surgeon. He goes in, he cuts things out. He's also a soldier. So he's also the Ice King. Scientist, right? Very logical, cuts to the point, the truth. This is not an emotional time. Okay, relax. So we're going to have an economic collapse. Okay, let me look at my Roth IRA. Okay, I got a couple weeks. Let me look at my storage. Make sure I've got everything I need. Calm down. Be logical. Be right. Now is not the time for emotion. Now is the time. Just be cool. You're going to be fine. You got a sun moving in. Nothing spooky is going to happen. The crossing card for you is new partnerships. So a lot of you could be doing work or expressing your work internationally. The world's becoming so much smaller these days. Everyone and anybody can become our friends, right? Even if they live in another place, right? So you have 2 of Wands, which is global. He's the entrepreneur, waits for his ship to come in. I would say with these cards, this is somebody who should calm down. They're getting their facts and information. They're coming into the time of the Sun. They're coming into a time when they're really figuring out how to run their business, how to run their life. They're possibly engaging in international pursuits. It's a time of being logical. It's a time of power for you. You know who you are, finally. You are here to create heaven on earth, which is different for everyone, right? You're here to become happy and to share your happiness and your joy and your creativity with the rest of the world. So you're entering into the time of the Magician. So you're entering into the time of power, what you sit into of Pentacles. You may have job instability right now, not because anything scary is going on, but just because you may not want to commit to anything just yet. This is somebody who may want to be moonlighting, trying a couple different things. You've got a 2 of Pentacles, juggling back and forth. A lot of options for you right now. It almost makes you a little cocky after the pandemic, because there is so much new work. And now not only can we not employ enough people with the old jobs, but then with the new infrastructure, we've got millions of more jobs. So what happens is that people start sitting in the 2 of Pentacles. Well, I could do this, but I could do that too. And maybe I'll do both. Maybe I'll try this for a week and maybe I'll go across the street to the other temp agency and try that. Or I'll go across the street and try the other temp agency and try that. What you going to give me in return? So there's like a two of pentacles here. I can go here. I can go there. You have options. Your past placement, strong. It's a strong group of people, strong ideas, strong beliefs, strong sense of self. Where you're headed, education and more knowledge, exchange of ideas. You need to socialize more, honey. Stop isolating yourself. The truth of the matter is, working with a group of people on a project, whether it's an artistic project, a theater project, it's important for all of us to learn to work together and not just isolate. 5 of Wands is the theater card. It's the exchange of ideas. It's people sharing information. We got a barn and we're going to put on a play. Okay, everybody grab a stick and that's going to be where the corner goes. No, that is 5 of Wands. It's not physical violence. Nobody's actually hitting anybody. They're engaged in constructing something. They're working together. They're either arguing, but they got to build this thing together. So it's a time you're entering into that's actually going to be quite social. And I think that makes sense because we're coming out of the time of COVID and we're entering into a much more social time and also a lot of work. You have to realize we're coming out of a time of meditation where a lot of people just kind of went inward. Grieving the things we've lost and sometimes spending too much time in the past and not enough looking at all the great stuff you've got right here, right now, the great friends, right, in this community, right? People in this community have made amazing friendships, right? So there's a lot of wonderful stuff that has come out of this nightmare, right? The former presidency, COVID. We've gone through a lot together, right? We've really gone through some stuff together. We've become friends through this, right? So it's important for us also to recognize the fact that we have so many good things happening for us right here, right now. And to sit around and grieve about what could have been, should have been, and to not look at the wonderful world you've created and to start creating a wonderful world right here and now is a shame. Thank you, Foggy Zach. I really do appreciate that. And I like your little dancing. Yeah. All right. What is around you? This is someone who may have been struggling with being defensive. I've been working on that. I'm notoriously defensive. I need to get over it. Right? Defense. What do you mean you don't like my spaghetti? I make a great, like the person who's always defensive. What do you mean? Like always afraid someone's attacking them. 5 of Swords is like, let it go. Not to be so reactive. To think before you react, to take yourself out of situations that might potentially be stressful before they become stressful. 5 of Swords is about walking away. The hope and the fear. Oh, we got some travelers here. A lot of you want to travel. You want to see the world. You don't want to miss anything before you leave the planet, right? So Chariot is the hope and the fear. It's to move. Some of you may be actually physically moving, but Chariot is about movement. Thank you, Melissa Miller. It's very kind of you. And then the final outcome for us is your wish has been granted. Whatever you wished today or what you wanted in terms of your art, your career, or your challenges, be about your business. Learn from the King of Swords. He is associated in the Yoruba tradition with Ogun. Ogun is the worker. He forges metal, right? So it's the energy of the worker. This is the time of working and staying logical and being grounded when all about you are losing their head. Stay calm, be cool. You're fine. Relax. It's not that hard to build a pantry for 3-4 months. Be about your business. Look at your prep kit in the event of an earthquake or flood. Have your escape, have everything organized, and just relax. Be about your business. Other than that, I don't see horrible, wicked, awful things happening because the final outcome is 9 of Cups, which means your wish has been granted. Say there is an economic collapse event, and then say we have to rebuild with a new economy. First off, we all knew that was coming. right? We've all had the heads up for the last couple of years, right? We go into the remote. One time I was crying. Nobody wants to see people dying of COVID. Nobody wants to see an economic collapse. Nobody wants to, of course, it's painful. But better that we put emotion aside and just take care. Get prepared. You don't have to be a tragedy. If we get prepared, we get organized, that we can prepare and help others. Thank you, Fillerin. Oh, I like that new picture of Fillerin. That's new. Oh, incredible. It's a really good picture of her. Your clarification, Ace of Wands, if you're starting a new business or new ideas for your business, it's going to be wildly successful. Take it slow, be calm, take every day at a time. You've got the Knight of Pentacles. That is a card that comes to people when they need to learn to be patient. Slow it down. Don't think you have to do it all right now. Just take a breath. Work on your projects a little bit every day. The hope and the fear for you, again, business, money, career, dreams, travel. They say your wish has been granted. Your final outcome is you emerge as the King of Wands. And as we all know, he's a leadership card, and he learned to humble himself, right? Interesting thing about the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands, they are red. Oh, thank you, Gail. That's really kind of you. They're red. So red is symbolic in the Torah for shame. Right? If you're burning red, when they talked about hell and they talked about burning, it didn't mean you were literally going to go into a fiery pit. It was a reference to burning with embarrassment. That's kind of how the rabbis read it. A little different than how the people in Europe read it. That you are shamed in red. Oh my God, I can't believe I did that. It's so embarrassing. So that experience is the King of Wands, because the King of Wands is based on Yehuda, who was the head of the tribe in the Torah, and he teaches us how to humble ourselves, right? He had to humble himself and say, yeah, I did it. But we also learn to be great leaders. So I think that we will all emerge as great leaders. Take it one day at a time. Be about your business. You'll be all right. And stop referring to yourself as a crone. Listen to Sandra Rogers. Time to be the queen, right? Awesome. Awesome reading, everybody. Okay. We're now 47 minutes in. We're going to start with some blitzes. I got a call for a blitz away. All right, let's do some blitzes. Did y'all enjoy that? Did that help? The reading helped? Good. Oh, you got the King of Wands? Yeah. Well, you know the story from Genesis about the King of Wands. He is seduced by his daughter-in-law, and she gets pregnant. His son dies. And then his second son dies. And so the tribe is going to go extinct because the head of the tribe was Judah, right? And then from that comes the king, King David. The royal lineage is about to be wiped out because all of his sons are dead. So his daughter-in-law, Tamara, decides, I got to seduce this guy or we're not going to have a kingdom, right? So Tamara dresses in a veil, like a sexy prostitute, and she basically meets him on a road and says, hey, basically like a hitchhiker, hey, want to have a good time? And so he picks her up, not knowing who she is. They get together, she gets pregnant, the tribe is going to take her out and do whatever. And then he is very embarrassed, says, oh gosh, I did that. She was there, this situation took place. So he's embarrassed, but he's not an Andrew Cuomo type of guy. He completely takes responsibility for his actions and he makes amends, right? And so that child, the child of Tamar and Yehuda, goes on to become the great-grandfather of King David, and the lineage survives. So that's what we learned from King David. We own our shame. We do the work. And consequently, as a result, we emerge as a great leader. And that is the message for you today. Okay. Good job, everyone. So we're going to start the blitzes. And the first blitz was that people did ask if I could please look at the economic collapse that the workers are talking about. The worker global system collapse. Is that what you guys are talking about? It was all over The Guardian this morning. I was reading about it. I like The Guardian. I try to read a lot of different newspapers, but The Guardian is where I go when I'm trying to see what's going on in Europe, etc. Okay, so let's take a look at the problem with the trolley drivers and yeah, what's going on? Global worker collapse. Are we going to have a collapse? Should we be worried? Woo! The World Bank is all over it. You know what it looks like? It looks like cooler heads prevail. The international banking and the people in power with finance are going to come in and do some fancy footwork, and a lot of this stuff could potentially be avoided. You can see the cards here. Much ado, possibly about nothing. I don't know. We've got 8 of Wands. Hard times come again no more. It can be quick movement. So a quick, possibly a quick fix. Right? 8 of Wands, boom, boom, boom. It can also be multiple attacks coming at the same time if it's the negative aspect. But I think here it's talking about a quick solution. And then 10 of Pentacles is a card that we associate with legacy. And then we have a new contract here, and then assistance being offered with an Ace of Cups coming in. So basically it looks like some kind of old established financial institution, possibly the World Trade Organization, comes in and offers assistance. You can see here the Ace of Cups. So they're going to figure out a way to deal with it before it gets too cray-cray. The clarification, yeah, here it is. So we could see a collapse or a stress, but it's not going to last too long. But you can see here the Tower comes. So yes, there is going to be a disruption. Be prepared for it. Be a good time it'd probably be a good time to buy stocks also. Talk to your stock person. If it does crash, your stock advisor, you might be able to get some good deals. Yeah, powerful heads prevail. The Emperor is very logical. The Emperor is the prefrontal cortex, logic. The new contract, the woman. I keep seeing that woman who works for the World Trade Organization. The final outcome over the assistance. Yeah, there's some legal assistance. World Trade Organization, United Nations, World Health Organization working together. I mean, it goes to show that there are benefits to having an infrastructure and the horrible globalist. Well, the good news about being a globalist is that we can get globally organized so that these types of collapses don't go on for 100 years. There's a lot of benefits to having a world market, to having rules, to having justice, to having a legacy and cooler heads coming together. There's benefits to that. And so I think what's going to happen is we are going to see more disruptions, but I do think that because there is an infrastructure to work with, the existing infrastructure will come in and help smooth things out so that it does not go on for 100 years. Even if the preppers are hoping that it'll go they want to destroy globalism and have the disaster go on for 100 years. Or we could take an existing structure, which is globalism, and because thank God we have that, we'll be able to come together and fix this problem a lot faster. That's basically what I see. You can see here, outcome, the courts, justice, assistants. This woman, I'm telling you, she's with the World Trade Organization. She always comes in when there's a crisis. All right. Does that help? Wasn't that fun? Let's have a little bit more Crystal Geyser to celebrate. Tropical punch flavor. I don't know, Melinda. Let's have a look. Katie's funny. Yeah, I mean, come on, folks. Y'all know what's happening. You got warnings. You read the newspaper. I mean, oh, the Pandora Papers. That's what the Pandora Papers are. So what really are the Pandora Papers? You know what the Pandora Papers are? Sooner or later you're gonna be mine. Tick tock. Sooner or later you're gonna be fine. Tick tock. Because Robert Mueller always gets his man. I can't get over the water, but others can. I got informants. Tick tock. We're gonna get you. Might take 10 years, but we're gonna get you. So what's happening? Finally, Oiga Voltikmir, the Pandora Papers, 35 current. That's it? Come on. What did Robert Mueller tell us he was going to do 3 years ago? He said he was following the money. Where did he follow the money? You told us everything. You didn't hold back. Where did he find the money? Where was the money? He told you everything. It was overseas. Where overseas? South America. He sent us to South America. He sent us to some islands. Remember that? But specifically, he was sending us to South America. And what did he say? He said he was following the money overseas, right? Cryptocurrency, right? Remember all of that? And then where did he follow the money after that? Where did Robert Mueller follow the money? To the Capitol steps. Remember that? Remember when he followed it all the way to the Capitol steps? Do you remember how freaked out I was when I did the profile? Do you remember what I said to him? You're going all the way there? That takes some balls, right? You're taking on Congress? You're going to the Capitol? 2.5 years ago, right? Remember that? What happened at the Capitol in January? So what's really going on? What was Robert Mueller really doing? What was really going on? He was following the money to compromised people in D.C. who had offshore accounts who were being paid by foreign lobbyists and governments in order to have their personal needs met. And he said, sooner or later, we're going to get you. And he did. Because Robert Mueller always gets his man. Let's throw on it. He was also following bank transactions, Russia, with a server. And then when we asked him what it was, he said it's bank transactions. It's money. No, they didn't plan an arrest then. If they'd planned an arrest then, they wouldn't have been able to have gotten deeper into it. No, they just watched the money transfers. Then they watched the crypto, remember? So that was the investigation. Let's take a look. He's the King of Wands, right? His archetype is the King of Wands. Even if it's embarrassing and horrible, he'll tell you exactly the truth. He has that ethics. It's really about multi, because he used to be the head of everything. I think, wasn't he the former head of the FBI even? And this type of money laundering and overseas accounts. But I was surprised where he took us. He took us to South America. I'm just curious because I haven't read this yet. Did the Pandora Papers uncover any money in South America? Because that's where Robert Mueller was directing with the 301. 301s is east, southeast. So that would be Florida. That would be Colombia. That would be anybody? Venezuela. Oh, thanks. Yeah, Venezuela. So the collapses and stuff that are going on with Haiti, Venezuela, there's money involved, and that oh God. And then you have people like Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon is basically in the middle of all of it. He's getting on the boat, and he's an informant, and that's what keeps him from being busted. What a mess. I gotta look into it because I. Okay, the investigation, Pandora. It's an international investigation. This required cooperation from multiple countries. Intelligence from multiple countries were involved in this investigation. From what I'm able to determine here, you can see that the world card was there. So they cooperated. This went on for a really long time. Remember how people were coming in from foreign countries, foreign intelligence agencies in Britain, and they were meeting with Mueller's team. Some of it was public that they were meeting and nobody knew why. It was because of this constant sharing of information about these money trails. This investigation also utilized the World Trade Organization. So it had to do with illegal trade. People were not paying. So if you're trading something or you're slipping through things through trade routes, money, etc., and you're not declaring it to the authorities in those countries, then people are losing the money. So you can see here again, this woman is associated with World Trade Organization, the World Trade Organization, international investigation into. It cost millions of dollars. They caught the people involved, but it took a very long time. This is actually a new beginning. This is crazy. The trillionaires and the billionaires turned in their own people. That's basically what it's saying. So say, for example, I'm a millionaire and I'm a trillionaire. I'm a Jeff Bezos or somebody like that, and I've got my billionaire yacht, and it exists as an independent country, and I can go off into international waters, and we make and break, etc. But what if I was one of those people and I was working with the World Trade Organization, etc., in order to destroy these people, in order to save the planet? Hi, aggravated progressive. In plainer words, it looks like other people in positions of power went after them and sabotaged them. People like Bolsonaro are involved, right? That's South America, corruption, South America, Venezuela, Brazil. That's what. That's where my head was as Robert Mueller. So we can see here the ethics, new beginning. This almost looks like a powerful guy like that Indian billionaire. They get together and they screw over the other billionaires that are doing things that are corrupt. They police themselves. That's the best way to describe this, because this is an ethics card, a new beginning in ethics. The lady from the World Trade, the world. So they are police. Yeah, we all want to keep our money. We're all millionaires and billionaires. We love money. Don't get us wrong, but for the good of the planet, we got to take you people out. That's what it looks like. Ethics wins. Yeah, look at this. Transformation of the economic system. So the businessmen, the business people are fighting the good fight. It's so crazy. It almost looks like the people who are working with the police, the people who are working with international authorities, are the wealthy. They're using their resources, because the Fed, if the Feds have been compromised, it's almost like, that's the best way to describe it. They're using money and resources from the international community in order to fight the good fight. The final outcome is a 3 of Cups or celebration, and the ethics win. You know, it was a huge investigation. It went on for at least 7 years. When Mueller came in, anytime he bumped up against it, he simply passed the information on to the Feds and the international community that was already working on those investigations. It wasn't the priority of Mueller, but Mueller's job was to simply pass on the information. And he understood that eventually they would be caught. But what a nightmare. Wow. Can you believe those cards? This makes me feel good, because I would like to believe that I would be one of those types of people. You know, like Rob Reiner. Rob Reiner is very wealthy. You know, he's one of the wealthiest people in Hollywood, Rob Reiner. But he served in the Union, you know. You can be extremely wealthy and still be a good person. You don't have to, and that seems to be what happened. You know, it's like Mary Trump, and she's a huge philanthropist. Being born with privilege does not automatically make you a dick. You know, so that's what I see. Okay, so the next question here is regarding Bolsonaro. It looks like there are protests that are growing in Brazil. Has anyone heard about these protests that are happening in Brazil? So it looks like Bolsonaro, the protests are growing, calling for revolution due to economic disparities that are currently happening in Brazil, and also the fact that crime is out of control. They also say that COVID has killed, oh, this is from The Guardian. COVID killed 600,000 people, and that was also what was causing Brazil to protest. They're demanding that Bolsonaro be removed. So the question, okay, and COVID tops over 700,000 in the U.S. So horrible, right? So, I mean, what's happened, also in Florida is what's happening in Brazil, is they're running out of space to bury the dead. So this is, you know, they're using the forest now. They're doing mass graves. And a similar problem is starting to happen in places like Florida, where the funeral haulers don't have, there's just too many bodies at this point. So I just want to look at Bolsonaro's future. Wow. We do live in interesting times, don't we? But tyrants come and go. It's not like this is the first tyrant. There's been tyrants throughout history. They come, they go. They usually don't stay very long, right? Because human beings don't put up with this for very long. Let's take a look at the future of Bolsonaro. I'm really glad that money thing, that because we had heard a lot about that from Mueller. Mueller kept talking about it, and then it just didn't happen. And then now that it's finally coming out, it's just like, God, it takes these investigations take forever. It's very frustrating. All right, Brazil, Bolsonaro. Oh. Jeez. He is a very difficult person to work with. His cards are terrible, by the way. He did this to himself. The problem is him. Basically, what they're saying is that his logic is so illogical that it will only result in more death and more disasters, because Bolsonaro is operating with these ideas that have nothing to do with what's ultimately good for the country. So I just see more fighting. He's going to be challenged. He's going to be challenged quite a bit, in fact. There's fighting here, which would indicate that these calls for revolution are not going to end until this guy's gone. Yeah, I'll show it to you. Yeah, they're going to drive him out. He's leaving. Look at these cards. You can see Bolsonaro's demise. It's over. Look at that. He put himself in this situation. It's coming to an end. Look at that death. He's going to be kicked out of there. Look at the opposition. You've got strong people that act. There's a woman and also a man potentially, and also the military particularly. There's, excuse me, they're moving away from him. Other parties that are becoming more popular with him. Look at his attempts to gain control over the situation results in devastation. And then the final outcome, fighting revolution, fighting the good fight. These are the fighters. He's finished. He's going to be driven out. It's become a situation in Brazil where there's no incentive to keep him. It's only a small group of people that are benefiting. And so, yeah, he's going to be driven out. In fact, this energy is so unstable. This could become really crazy really quickly. But yeah, no, he's leaving. I like the energy coming in as his opposition in this second card, which was Queen of Cups, which is a desire to heal. It's Queen of Hearts. So there's some good energy coming, possibly a female candidate. And then you had the King of Swords, which is like the military. It's also logic. So there's opposition coming from other areas, possibly also from the sciences and also from the military. All right. So the next, so you guys brought some good questions today. Okay, so the next thing that people wanted to talk, we still have time, right? Yeah, it's like over 1,000 of us here. Why is he resigning from politics? Because they have, after Imelda Marcos and all of that, they have term limits. His terms came to an end. They don't want to have another situation like that. So, the next thing we're doing. What do y'all think about the Canary Islands? This volcano. Crazy, right? So the Canary Islands has blown open 2 more fissures. See, the last week when I looked at the Canary Islands, I didn't have a good feeling about it. I actually felt like this could keep going. I felt like the energy of the volcano. People are trying to be optimistic. They're saying, "Yay, we're going to have more Canary Island, right? Because it's producing more land, right?" But unfortunately, air quality is very, very bad right now. So there's real concerns that if this situation goes on long for too long, we could wind up potentially with air quality problems in Europe, etc. Let's take a look at. I'm kind of getting nervous about the Canary. It's probably going to be a long time before people can go back there on vacation because of the air quality. This should have happened after I visited. All right, the Canary Islands. What's going on with the Canary Islands? And then I have time for one more question. I'm going to finish by 12:30 so that the other readers can get on. The readers try to respect each other and not be on at the same time. We try to. So if I'm on too long, it's kind of cutting into another reader. So I'll do this, and then I'll do one more, and then we'll call it a day, and we'll let all the other great readers have their chance to shine. I know Linda comes on also sometimes. Okay, Canary Islands. What a beautiful place. Very beautiful place, very spiritual place. Look at that. The star is over it. It's a place that's very magical. There's something really sacred and special about that. You know, it's part of the Atlantic where the Atlantic joins Africa, which is just pretty remarkable. So the star is over it. Good, solid judgment. I really think the scientific community is they're really monitoring the situation. There's still some confusion in the sense that I think they just don't know enough right now. The world, I think I'm not seeing death and destruction here. So I think people will remain safe. I see strong leadership on the island also. I always see this King of Cups around. I think they're going to monitor for the air quality, etc. I just feel like this is strong, solid leadership. But unfortunately, I don't, which is good, but unfortunately, I don't see air quality or the problems with the volcano ending anytime soon. So it could go on prolonged. People will remain safe. Leadership is good. These things happen. And unfortunately, it looks like it could go on for a bit longer. But the good news is that the leaders are just doing a great job. You can see here a star over the King of Cups. You can see justice. No, people are going to be cared for, the world. But it does go on for a long time. Sorry about that, everybody. Oh, adventurous spirit. She just did you just join Elders and Elders? How lovely. We have our second class on Tuesday. We're going to be introduction to the chakra system. People who are interested in learning about the chakras, we will be covering the chakra system Tuesday, 7 p.m., and how professional remote viewers use the chakra system. First class, you don't have to get certified. And most people that watch the class, it's just because they like the lectures. It'll be live Tuesday at 7 p.m. for people who are the healers and empaths. Costs $9.99 a month to get the lectures. And yeah, I appreciate everybody who supports the channel. Okay, one more question. So what's it going to be? We got time for, I think people are worried about Haiti and the border. I think that's really worth taking a look at. The people of Haiti are like some of the most amazing people in the world. Why are we making their lives horrible? We should be having them come in. We need more workers. It's like, I don't understand what the problem is. Like, why are we torturing these people? We got so much work. It's like, what is the issue? I don't understand. These are legitimate asylum seekers. So makes no sense to me. Particularly, it makes no sense to me because this is a Biden administration. So I just don't get this. Oh, Michelle Marbell became an elder. Good for you. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay, let's look at the Haitian immigration issue at the border. Makes no sense. Makes no sense. Racism, prejudice is bad for the bottom line. If you're really a capitalist, you'd open the frickin' door, thank them for coming. I'll give you my chicken soup recipe. I make the best chicken noodle soup. It's serious. Takes 2 days. Gotta treat people right. Particularly our immigrants, right? Haiti, the truth. Victory within 6 months. Strong female leadership. Things are going to get organized really, really quickly. Emergency relief now. Bum, bum, bum. 6 of Wands moving in. The situation will stabilize within 6 months. Financial aid. And also emergency services at the border, and they are going to be given visas to stay in the U.S. Yay! A lot of them will be granted asylum. You can see here the truth comes out. Fool takes a leap of faith. Money and assistance over the next 6 months is given. You can see the victory card here, a 6-month period, and you can see the Ace of Pentacles, which would probably be emergency financial relief from the Americans. This is much cheaper to let them in and give them assistance and get them in as Americans. It's much better for us and much better for the economy than blocking migration right now, which would be economically disastrous. We cannot afford to be blocking immigration right now. We've lost 14 million workers. So it makes no sense. The clarification here, I think that this is Kamala Harris, because you have a strong woman in a position, or Nancy Pelosi, but it's a strong woman in a position of leadership. She comes with the Ace of Wands. Some woman is going to come in and make things happen. And then you have scholarship, knowledge, information, and then 6 of Cups, which is to bring in, right? It's to give an offer. It's innocence. It's to help. So I think what happened is that it happened very, very quickly. And I think the bottom line is that we need to set up better services for these types of emergencies so that when people seek asylum, we can absorb them and get them in safely much more quickly and much more effectively. Because they desperately need to get out of Haiti. And we can desperately use the workers, the people here. So I think it's going to happen very fast. Give it 6 months to get stable. Well, that was fun. Was that not the funnest brunch? Yeah. You ever tried Haitian food? It's really good. All right. Yeah, you talk food to Whimsy, and also the medicine is incredible. They have some of the most brilliant herbalists come out of Haiti, so that's cool too. All right, love and light to you all. It was really fun hanging out. If you would like to see me for a reading, you can go to tarotwithwhimsy.com. And I'm available for phone readings. Have a great rest of the day, everybody, and please be sure to show support to the other readers today. And love to you as well, Florin. And I'll see everybody, I guess, if you're coming to class Tuesday. All right. Be well, everyone. Bye bye.